Let's Chat is brought to you by the Caricom Business Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Let's Chat on the Tuesday evening. I want to welcome you all for joining us this evening from where you are. Hope you're having a pleasant day today. It's incredible. You're in for an incredible time this evening. We've got Trevor on. Missing Wasim as always. I hope he's doing well and Angel this evening. Trevor, so happy to have you on the program this evening. I know we've got a fantastic individual, rated personality, one of the top coming out of Guyana, who is very well known, and we're really happy to have him on this evening. And that is the incredible Kwesi Malachi Gilbert. So, Trevor, what do you think for this evening? How are you feeling?
Man, I'm super excited. Did a little research on the guy and came back. He's doing a lot of positive things. He seems to be one of those dudes that's doing it all. He's here, there, and everywhere. So I'd love to hear a little bit more, how we got started. What exactly keeps him going? In these times, being busy, like we just barely got the show, and it's almost impossible to manage a personal life, a job, and do the show. And he's doing multiple things. So I'm super excited to find out, some of the ways he manages time and all that fun stuff.
And one of the things that Gracie, it goes by Malachi most. When you hear the name Malachi, that's him. And one of the things that struck me about him and impressed me is that very down to earth, very humble, looking to promote not himself but those who he's working with. And he'll tell us more about the artists that he's managing. But he's got some fun projects happening, and we're really excited to have him on this evening to share that with us and up close. And with his extraordinary background, it'll be really refreshing to hear what it takes to be in the position that he's in.
Yeah, super excited to get the conversation going. And this evening actually marks our official launch of the Caricom Business Network collaboration with Let's Chat Roku TV channel. We've been testing it out. We made some changes. Originally, we're officially live. This is actually the first show that we're going live. So all the people who are on Roku TV, go ahead and search for Caricom Trend TV. And you see the logo right there on the lower right-hand corner with the Trend TV logo. That's it. Download it, guys. We have a lot of content from the show. We're going to have music videos from all across the Caribbean. We're just working out some logistics. We don't want to step on anybody's toes. We basically get permission, but it'll be a page where you can go find out more about what's going on in the Caribbean, find out everything about the show, see interviews on all the fun people that we have on here. So go ahead and download the app and, stick with us. We also want to thank all the people who have supported us. We are back on track again. We came off a little flaky with traveling schedule. We were off. We're now officially back. Shiv Persaud is now officially with the show. So, we're growing bigger things. Wasim is taking a little time away. His job's basically tying him up. But with that being said, are you excited to get this extraordinary gentleman on the show?
Definitely excited to have Malachi with us this evening, and I'm looking forward to hearing all of his story.
Awesome.
We had a conversation earlier today, and we could just feel the excitement and exuberance in his voice. So we're grateful to have it on with all of viewers this evening. And to all viewers, feel free to engage, have a lot of questions. Let us know you're part of the program. Make sure you drop your questions in the chat so we can definitely go through it and address it so that you can also get what you came for this evening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Malachi, all the way out from beautiful Guyana. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good night, guys. How you doing?
Fantastic.
Malachi, fantastic, man. So now, nice to have you on this evening. This is Shiv. We talk non-stop, and there's Trevor on. We're missing our host, Wasim and Angel this evening, but it's truly a pleasure to have you on this evening, and definitely an opportunity for us to let's chat. And Malachi, what is it that comes to mind when you hear the name Malachi? Like, what is it that our viewers should know?
The name Malachi. First, let me address your viewers and everybody. Good night to everybody. My name is originally Kwesi Gilbert. My middle name is Malachi. But when you say Malachi, think when you hear Malachi, it's synonymous with Guyanese music, Guyanese sound, Guyanese archive. When you think of Malachi, that's what you think about.
Wow,
Cool. That's
that's
awesome.
amazing.
Enlighten me on that. I'm not too familiar with it. You want to shed some light on that for myself and the viewers?
Which section of that? The
So
issue of the
the
archiving,
Malachi,
or
yes, yes. How is the
when you
link?
think of, all right. What happened? Let me give you a little background to how I got
Sure.
to the point I am. In 1992, I returned to Guyana. Um, but just incidentally, my father and I were out of the country because my uncle, Walter Rodney, was murdered.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So basically, at around 4 plus 5, we left Guyana. I returned in 1992, and I was looking at the environment, and I realized that, there was some stuff missing. All right.
Mhm.
Because one of the things that had happened to me while I grew up in numerous countries across the world is that I had the opportunity at 13 to be on radio, actually Radio Antilles in the Caribbean. And I was mentored by a lady by the name of Rose Willock, who is a Caribbean renowned journalist.
Okay.
So I got the first stint with a Radio Antilles at 13. And from then it kind of developed. So when I came to Guyana in 1992, I realized that there was a void in the creatives area, the space. And I decided to do some research, and I realized, hey, we didn't have an archive, which
Hmm.
really archived all the material from yesteryear to today. There was no formal structure that dealt with IP, or what is called intellectual property right.
Hmm.
And Guyana, as the country, was removed from the Berne and Paris Accord. This has to do with the IP law issue in 1974. In 1994, we rejoined the Berne and Paris Accord, but we did not make the necessary contributions in order to activate our side of it. And also,
Right.
we needed to have clear, updated copyright laws in Guyana and
Hmm.
enforcement as well. So those are some of the things that I have since coming into Guyana. I have spent years archiving music from Guyana. I
Okay.
have spent years lobbying all the governments that have been in place from then to now on the particular issue of IP, intellectual property right, and how it affects the entire environment that we're
Right.
in Guyana. A lot of people, for example, want to see our artists do well. They want to see our writers get their books published and all of that stuff, our movies, our short films, our sitcoms. All of these things can come from Guyana, but how do you have them come from Guyana with absolutely no protection and no law to guide that particular development process? So those are some of the issues that I personally have picked up, and I run with them. I speak with any politician that is willing to listen on this particular issue because it affects the youth of Guyana.
Right.
Because as you know, in entertainment, if you got an artist, you know that artist most likely is going to have somebody who's going to be styling them. That's
Mhm.
employment. Somebody who's going to be managing them, that's employment. Somebody who's going to be the booking agent, that's employment. The people who are doing the promotion or the PR, all of that is part of the industry. All right. And that's just one sector I'm trying to kind of like highlight, which is the music industry, which I do believe that Guyana has the greatest potential. All right. I'll give you something that I learned recently. I do some work with VP Records in New York, out of New York. I've been debuting a lot of the Guyanese artists for distribution through VP Records. And one of the things that was shocking. I was speaking to the CEO of VP Records, and I played him the Weed Song by Young Bill Rogers, by Bill Rogers, not Young Bill Rogers, but Bill Rogers. You know the man Piaba, woman Piaba. Everybody knows that song, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you believe that he grew up believing that that was a Jamaican artist?
Wow.
Wow, that's mind
That's
blowing.
amazing. I actually can touch on that. A few people that next week we're going to have someone on the show. I don't want to give it away. But when I
Yeah.
first heard this gentleman, I thought he was Jamaican. I'm like, wow, this is a new artist, pretty cool. Come to find out
Mhm.
he's going to be on the show and he's actually Guyanese. I was like, whoa, wait a second here. Is this a crossover thing going on? He doesn't even have he does have a little bit of a Jamaican slang or what I'm accustomed to hearing, but that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. I've noticed a lot of Guyanese artists are stepping up to the plate. There've been an influx of soca chutney. There's been influx of the reggae, and we have talented people in Guyana. I think
I-
that what you're in there, the feel that you're in, definitely it's needed in there to protect the artists from, getting himself in trouble or people to come after them. Pretty much that scenario. Um, another thing,
But
are you
but but
currently? Go ahead.
no. Continue.
I was saying,
Finish.
are you currently have something in place where you basically tutor them, mentor them before they bring something out and put it over to the world now? Because due to social media, you could do something in Guyana and the entire
Mhm.
world knows about it in a matter of minutes.
Well, what is the main let's say drive for what I've been doing so far for I would say over 25 years is mainly to educate, because really IP law is just not the music. If you understand what I'm talking about,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not just the music. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Pepper Pot is no longer Guyanese. All right.
Okay.
If you were in New York, you can probably go to the supermarket and you will see pepper pot in a jar, and it says at the back of the jar, Guyanese inspired pepper pot. However, the ingredients in the pepper pot has nothing to do with what we know goes into pepper pot as Guyanese.
Yeah.
However,
Right.
the copyright is gone. Cheese straw is gone. All right, that's packaged, that's sold in a lot of the outlets in the US as well. You guys should know this. If you live in Queens,
Yeah.
Brooklyn, and you go
I'm in
into the
Toronto.
bodega supermarket, you're gonna see cheese straw in a box. All right.
Yeah.
The next thing that we've lost is the word demerara.
Mhm.
All right.
Really?
No, yeah, we've lost that. No, what people have to understand about that, and this is where again the emphasis of IP comes in,
Hmm.
is the region that we know as Guyanese, that's called the Demerara region, is also a sugar producing area. Isn't that so?
Right. Absolutely.
All
Yes.
right. Now, I pause there and I want you guys to think. I want you to listen to what I'm telling you. Listen
Hmm.
carefully. All right. Now, this is a question, have you ever drank champagne?
No.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have. I
Yes,
have.
I have. Yes,
You
I have.
have? You
Yes.
have? All right.
Uh,
No, I want you to listen to me. If I told you that you have never really drank champagne, would you believe?
I'm
I
open
mean,
to listen to the conversation and hear. I'm pretty sure you
All
have a
right.
reason.
All right. Now, champagne is not a drink. All right. Champagne is a region
Okay.
in France that the grape growers grow, and there's a process that goes into creating the bubbly and that wine, which is called
wow.
champagne.
Right.
Now, any wine that comes out of that region is called champagne.
Yeah, Champagne wine
Interesting.
region. Yep.
So you have not drank champagne. What you have drank is bubbly or dry wine.
Yep.
Makes
All right.
sense. So what's
Okay.
happening with Guyana and
So,
Demerara?
uh,
It's
okay.
not prone to the country alone. It's happening all across the world.
No, what somebody has done because they understood that and I happen to know the individual who did it, and there are things that can be done, but I'll reserve that for legal reasons.
Right.
However, the person has basically the international copyright to the word
Demerara.
Demerara.
Wow.
And the sugar is sold at Demerara Gold.
So of course they would have to pay him for the use of the Demerara.
Yeah.
All right.
That is something straight out of New York expectancy. Like,
All right. Now,
that,
you see how important copyright is, right?
mhm.
Because
Absolutely.
if somebody comes in, which is going to happen, I can tell you this, because once you have an emerging economy and it's oil booming and it's got all these sectors opening up, people
Mhm.
are going to come in and look for the niche that you're not looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And they're going to come in and they're going to look at Baigan Choka. They're going to say, wow, they have Baigan. Well, let's see. Can we get the recipe? And
Yeah.
of course, you understand patents and trademarks. If
Mhm.
they capture your recipe, it's over. That ain't yours.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. So this is one of the things that I've been like at the politicians' neck about, understanding that this is a sector, and the sector stretches into our cultural area as well. All right. It stretches into our cultural area because I'll give you an example of what are the possibilities of stuff that Guyanese don't think about. Have you gone through have you ever seen the entire ceremony, a traditional Indian wedding?
Yeah.
A couple of
Absolutely. Yes.
times.
Yes.
From start to end, they dirty right through.
Of course.
All right,
Yes.
good. Now, Guyana, if you don't know, has put a twist on the traditional Indian wedding. Did you know that?
Tell me more.
What's it first? I'm curious.
All right, Guyana has put a twist on it because I personally have witnessed quite a few of them, and I've filmed them and I've
Yeah.
collected them, right? And Guyana has put a little twist on them because when I look at the traditional Indian weddings, for example, coming out of Uttar Pradesh and
Mhm.
Calcutta, they're a little different. I
Mhm.
don't know if it's because they may be one maybe Shiva or Brahma. I don't know
Mhm.
why it changes, but there are some little twists. But when you're in Guyana and you witness the ceremony, do you know that somebody can easily take that information, package that as a documentary, and sell it?
Of course. Yeah.
So your cultural, let's say, appropriation is then taken
Mhm.
because, of course, because of the indentureship and all the incorporation, because at that time when the Indians, the Chinese, the Africans, everybody were together, we were all incorporating everybody's thing together.
Right.
Right.
And that gives us the uniqueness as being Guyanese. All right. And that we have to protect. And this is why I'm trying to explain and try as much as possible to disseminate the information on the fact that everything that comes out of Guyana, as a matter of fact, anything that comes from the mind of a Guyanese is
Mhm.
protected under intellectual property right law. That is what it's all about.
And what's needed to get that looked after and protected now? Because I know obviously in your field and in everyone's field, it's important that the things that you create from your mind and your thought process, you want to ensure that that stays where it started and not being duplicated
And
elsewhere.
you benefit from it as well.
Exactly. And
All
so
right.
what is lacking right now? Like what is needed to have that protection in place for IP, intellectual property?
Um, I'll tell you what. it's Guyana has a hurdle to climb in the sense of, because we were removed from the accords and we haven't contributed. And then there have been years of piracy. And I'll give you a perfect example. A lot of people believe the song "This Land Is My Land" is a Guyanese song. It's not. All right.
Okay.
It was written, produced, released in 1945 by a gentleman by the name of Rudy Guthrie from the US. All right.
Does he have Guyanese heritage?
No, he doesn't. This song has nothing to do with Guyana. It's straight up plagiarism.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
All right.
Interesting.
Now, if you have a generation of individuals who were indoctrinated with "This land is my land, this man is your land," da 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 da. I don't even like to sing that nonsense, but that's not our thing.
Yeah.
All right. That is not ours. And for anybody, I'll throw this out there. I want anybody globally to dispute the fact that that's not a Guyanese song. That is written by Rudy Guthrie. I'll give you his name again, Rudy Guthrie, and it was released in 1945.
Okay. So the fact that he's someone obviously from Guyana, doctrinated the song into Guyanese culture, it has
Well,
become part of us now.
it has
So
become part of us, and
right.
this is what has created the problem. Because if I ask you, or you ask another Guyanese, what's Guyanese culture?
I can take a
Changes.
stab at that. The Guyanese culture is a mixture. It's not one thing and it changes. It evolves over time. It doesn't remain the same. The Guyanese culture from 10 years ago is not the same Guyanese culture that it is today. So it's always
Mhm.
ever evolving. And we live in a world right now where, like I said earlier, one person could sing a song or release it, or the entire world knows. So we live in a
Mhm.
much closer world where I understand plagiarism and everything, but this is what we're contributing now. Now, for example, you find pepper pot in the supermarkets over here. That's amazing.
Mhm.
You can go like, hey, you know what? This is from our culture. For example, like pizza. Pizza came from
Mhm.
Italy, right? And now everybody's indoctrinated. So this is our contribution to the world. This is my perception is a little different from you, but I get your point that
Mhm.
there needs to be stuff in place because they'll just come and take everything we have. We have to find a way to protect it and say, hey, this is ours. You can use it, but it belongs to us.
Okay, I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Could you show me? Because you're in New York, right? You guys are in New York?
He's
All right,
I'm in
Chev is in
Toronto.
Canada and Toronto, and I'm in Queens, New York.
great. Could you show me a jerk chicken stall that is not a Jamaican?
I'm sorry, I missed
But
that. What was that?
it wouldn't be a jerk chicken stall. It would be a West
Oh,
Indian
Show me
restaurant.
a jerk chicken stall that the person is not Jamaican.
Actually, have one. It's called Island Spice in Toronto. Guyanese.
They're doing oxtail and jerk chicken.
Yep, they do oxtail and jerk chicken, peas and rice, everything you get.
that's
That's
funny. I got to share a story now too. So I do a lot of traveling all across the world. So my last trip, I was in Idaho. I literally went into a Indian restaurant,
Mhm.
and it was run by Asians,
Okay.
by Koreans.
Okay.
So that happens a lot. It's funny. I've seen it a lot of times more than I care for. It just happens.
But I'll tell you. I'll tell you what is the overarching thing I'm trying to point out here. As Guyana is part of the umbrella of Caricom, all
Mhm.
right? And trust me, I've traveled the extent to the entire archipelago. So I can tell you that one of the things that I have noticed over time is the major metropolitan countries don't have a culture.
Mm, okay.
What happens is that they appropriate, yours or ours. All right. 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 They appropriate, yours or ours All right, because okay, culture is a diverse thing. It goes into food, it goes into clothes, dialect,
Yeah.
certain religious and celebratory patterns that we have, which would be Indian Arrival Day, Emancipation Day, all those things. So we have a unique culture that if we don't protect it,
Yeah,
there's a
that's too much.
possibility that we can possibly lose it. In other words, because of social media and all the influence that's coming in, it
Uh,
could erode we have. I'll give you an example. As a Guyanese, you should know about the mermaid stories.
yes.
Okay?
How did we get here? Let's hear this morbid story. Come on, talk to me.
This is culture. This is culture. If you don't know about mermaid in Guyana, you ain't Guyanese.
On that note, let me shout out to one of our viewers, Mr. Horace Sankar. I put it on the screen, but it's too big. I'm going to read it real quick. I think it's interesting. He says
Yeah,
the Guyanese culture is a vibrant fusion of Amerindian, African, Indian, European, and Chinese influences, creating a unique identity reflected in its festivals, music, cuisine, and languages. Key aspects
right?
include strong family ties, a diverse culinary scene, blending South Asian, African, and Chinese flavors with local ingredients and celebrating like a large independence festival, Matramani. The culture is also defined by its coexistence of Christianity, Hinduism, and Islam, leading to a rich uh, tapestry of religion and cultural holidays. Key aspects of the Guyanese culture. Oh man, I lost it there. Key aspects of the Guyanese culture: diverse ethnic makeup. The population is a mix of East Indian, African, Amerindian, Chinese, European descent, and Indo-Guyanese and Afro-Guyanese. Being the largest group, uh, hang, uh, yep, the family is a central daily life with distinct traditions. He's going on and on and on. I don't want to hijack the whole thing, but I get you
No,
guys get what he's saying.
no, I get what he's saying.
That's cool. Shout
One
out
of
to
the
you,
things,
sir.
yeah, a big shout out to him. But one of the things I think he overlooked is that there's also a coming together, or what I call the coming together of the syntax of languages. I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. When we talk, all of us use the word "bye."
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Yeah, bye.
That
Come on, bye.
is uniquely. A lot of people don't know this, but the word "bye" is uniquely Indian.
Like, yeah.
You know this, right?
Brother, yeah.
All right. I'll
Okay.
give you another one. "Bap." You know what "bap" is?
Bop.
"Bap."
Far long.
Father. No, we
Bop.
use "bap" as far
Bop.
along.
Bop. Yeah.
"Bap" is actually father.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
So
bop.
there is what we have. What is a very unique thing that I don't think people zoom in on in Guyana is the syntax. And when I say the syntax, the borrowing of certain phrases from each area that every single face, because I don't like to use the word race. I do radio, so I don't use race. I say we got six beautiful faces. We don't say
Facts.
races down here.
Yeah.
So it's just faces,
Yeah.
right? But we
One
have
love, one Guyana, right?
that fusion of languages that have come together. I don't know when last you guys got came home, but Georgetown people talk a certain way. When you go Berbice, them talk a
You
certain
already know.
way.
Catch passage.
Man, when you go Blackbush Pool is a whole different citation. When you
Uh-huh.
go 68, 63, Crabble Creek,
Yeah.
you know it's a whole different thing. So you have to understand that is what is uniquely our culture.
Mhm.
All right. Now, what we have done in that cultural expression is to create names that are unique.
Absolutely.
All right. We, for example, show me carambola, man.
Yeah.
You lost me there. What is that now?
Show me carambola. You see, you gotta be Guyanese, bro. Come on, man. You gotta be Guyanese. You know carambola?
Nah, can't say I do.
All right, Carabola is what we call five finger.
Okay. Okay.
And
I
one
got,
All
I,
finger,
right.
I
sorry.
got a lot of Trinis in my family that teach me. We say the same thing. Just it's like tomato, tomato, that whole
All right.
diverse. But we
All
are
right.
literally way off track. Do you guys want to keep going down this rabbit hole, or should we go back to the to the original topic?
No,
And
just before we go back to the original topic, Karila is Sir C.
Okay.
All right. Guyana call it Karila. Jamaica, I think Trinidad, they may call it Sir C. All right. But it's Karila. We call it
Mm,
Karila. So you understand where the uniqueness
yeah,
for
absolutely.
example, we have names that the world has never heard of.
Oh yeah.
facts.
We
Henceforth,
have we have our own slang as well too. I mean, when you hear,
exactly. There's a
yeah,
plethora of stuff that can come out of Guyana
yeah,
that needs to be protected. And just before we change the topic, if you look at the forest alone, and this is where I'm talking about when I talk
Mm,
about IP, medicine comes from
right.
the jungle of Guyana. It's got to be protected.
Hmm.
All right. So just that just wraps your head around where IP is. It means everything around you, everything that comes from your mind, that kind of thing.
And is there any work in progress right now to get us back into a level where to be part of the accord or to protect the intellectual properties that are being created, especially with the economy that's being booming, the recognition of the country, the things that are being done, the transformation and the progress of the country? Are there steps being taken to lead in a direction to protect their intellectual properties?
Well, I'll tell you what. Um, I am again attempting to introduce something into an environment that um, has never really grasped the concept of
Mhm.
IP.
Right.
I'll give you an idea of when I say grasp the concept. You all know there is Bed Bath and Beyond in the U.S.
Hmm.
Yes.
Now we have a company in Guyana that obviously I know they haven't bought the franchise or secured the franchise to have that name because
Right.
when I go into that business and I look at the products, I can obviously tell they got that from China, IKEA, or
Good.
somewhere. So
They've
that's
got a
not
good
the product.
marketing team. I can tell you that.
That's what I'm saying. So what we have are businesses that run on other people's intellectual property,
Hmm.
Mhm.
which if the laws were updated, they couldn't do. For example, you couldn't have another M&M in Guyana
Mhm.
because M&M is very stringent in terms of their brand and all of that. So
We're
there's no
talking about
way you can.
Eminem. We're talking about Eminem the candy, Eminem the rapper,
Yes. M&M the candy.
or Eminem the snack it.
No, right. Well, there's M&M the snack it, which we know. That's what I'm saying. There are several breaches of
Uh-huh.
IP law, but from Guyana, I'll show you a big one, which really impacts on the entire environment: the radio stations and the TV stations.
Mhm.
All right, because the radio stations, as you know, in the U.S., if you have uh, a real radio station, your radio station has got to pay a blanket license to air music.
Correct. Yes.
All right. In Guyana, you download the music, you play it. All right.
Mm.
There is no performance rights organization in place
Right.
through the IP law upgrade that allows the collection of that monies that all the radio stations use people's music, the establishments, the clubs, the bars, the hotels, they all have to pay that blanket license for the use of music because there's no way they can have an event and not use music.
Right.
Even for
That's a very
example,
good point. Go ahead,
and
Shiv.
even when you go to public facilities, like you would go to a rec center or you go to a facility in North America,
Yeah,
if you tell me you're playing music, you have to pay a licensing fee
yeah,
to that
yeah,
venue for your rental. I
correct.
mean, generally, even on social media now, if you play a song, you have to show
Mhm.
that you don't own the copyright and the laws of it.
Well, it's
So
either you're whitelisted by the management team of the artist, and that
right.
allows you the permission to do that, or um, there is some arrangement with the publisher that you can have clearance to do that, or else no.
Right. Now,
And
let
how?
me say,
Go
let me
ahead,
say
Trevor.
this. So if we try to implement something like that, I foresee a lot of time and effort behind it. But Guyana is also a small place, not that many much people. If you start regulating something like this, it has to be thought out. There have to be a big time committee, years of study to put something like this in place. Because if you adapt the United States, copyright law and all that stuff and implement it in Guyana, there's going to be a lot of issues, problems, people, it's going to be a mess. I don't think we're there as yet, but what do you have in terms of you identify the problem? What
Mhm.
solutions would you like to put forward for, God forbid, someone that's listening that's empowered that can actually, take a step in the right
Make those
direction?
changes. What I would do, and this is stuff that I have actually sat down with representatives of the Ministry of Culture, Youth, and Sport, and
Okay.
we've spoken about. One of the things that I would, for example, strategize immediately
Hmm.
with and through them is the education. All right, because there's no way that a strategy like that will be able to work and benefit the youth and those people who want to be involved if they do not understand or they're not educated well
Right.
enough to understand how they can take advantage of what is available and make it happen. All right, now the education starts from, for example, symposiums, seminars, and another aspect to that is what is called PSAs, or public service information or public service announcements. All
Kind of like
right?
what we're doing right now. You hear that, people? This
Correct.
is a public service announcement coming to you live from Let's Chat in collaboration with the Caricom Business Network.
Yeah. All right. Now, I'll give you an idea of what, for example, in Guyana,
Uh-huh.
social engineering in that case is pretty easy. And in a lot of other cases, it's pretty easy. You're in New York, you get on the train, it reinforces a certain thing to you. It says, um, there's a, there's some talking, and then it says, if you see something, say something.
Mhm.
All right. If somebody has left a backpack or anything unattended,
Uh-huh.
tell the nearest MTA staff or the nearest police officer or whoever. They reinforce that information on you on a constant basis once you travel on the train.
Uh-huh.
All
Absolutely.
right. Now, this is what I'm saying with Guyana. A lot of this stuff, in order to change the environment quickly, and because people are not, we know Guyanese ain't picking up no book and read. All right. So the fastest way to get information over to them would be through the way I've explained, and also using the tool of the music that we can create and have created to influence their minds. Because this is what Jamaica has done, but
Right.
Guyana has failed to do that with our artists and artistry. And I'm talking across every sector: designers, musicians, songwriters, book writers, movie makers, short films, everything. I'm talking about across the board. And I don't know what has really kind of retracted, because I'll tell you what, when Barrett Jagdeo, BJ, was president of Guyana, his last tenure, he had done something which I thought was a brilliant initiative. And I
Hmm.
was part of it at the time. It
Okay.
was called the President's Film Endowment. All
Okay.
right. Where they gave us he gave each team $1 million to create a short film. And what happened
Hmm.
at that time, he linked the training and the production through the University of Boston. through the University of Guyana. And the films that were created were then featured on Guyana's behalf at the Cannes Film Festival.
Wow.
So those are some of the
Amazing.
initiatives that I know for a fact that at least the vice president has a notion and a knowledge of.
Hmm. That was a one-time
And
thing.
yeah, that was a one-time thing.
Okay. So
So
maybe we
definitely
ought to
the room
start a
is
conversation and try to make it, depending on the success, find out what we
Well,
did wrong and get more, attention,
I'll
exposure.
tell you some of the things that I do understand. One, you have BJ is let's say an exceptional individual in terms of how quickly he thinks. Um, he thought about that really quickly. But what I think needed to happen is that the team that is surrounding him needed one of his team members needed to pick that initiative up.
And run with it.
Exactly. And run with that initiative instead of looking at it as, it might be complex dealing with all these moving parts, you
Right.
know. But this is, if we're going to grow to, for example, to the state where we are a digital economy and where we are more than just an oil producing economy
Hmm.
or an extractive economy, because sugar is exported, gold is exported, everything that comes out of Guyana is exported. So we are an extractive economy.
Right.
Where do we change the tide to the point where we are now a creative economy, where we can then create and sell that creativity to the world?
That is,
Because
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you were done.
just let me finish. Yeah, because we have, at least we know we have one of the biggest living legends on in terms of music, and that's Eddie Grant. All right,
Facts.
yeah,
so
facts.
we have to look at these things that we have. Deborah Cox is Guyanese. Liana
Yes.
Lewis is Guyanese. Rihanna is half Guyanese.
Trevor's
St. John
Guyanese.
is Guyanese. We talking about some of the major stars
Yeah.
are
True.
Guyanese, but
We do.
we have not networked to bring the consolidation together under that particular issue, and that
Love it.
will only come under the issue of IP. Go
I
ahead,
love
brother.
it. This is one of the reasons this show is on, is to bring people together. We started off as a Guyanese owned business. Shout out to my boy Wazim Mohammed who checked it on us there. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining
Good
us.
evening, Wazim.
So we started a show with Guyanese owned business. Actually, Wazim's wife started it, and
Mhm,
she ran with it for a couple of years, and Wazim kind of jumped on it. Then I got
mhm.
involved. I was doing something similar 15 years ago. It never really
Okay.
panned out. It's hard to get our Guyanese Caribbean community together. For some reason, they're
Yeah.
like two magnets, they always push apart. But we're doing this now. We're putting the Caribbean Business Network together to bring Caribbean businesses where they can grow. We now market the business on the network. Plus, we do like what we're doing right now. Every Tuesday live, we bring someone from the business industry, someone from the entertainment. We sit down and we have a conversation. Initially, I
Yeah.
expect this to spark and just blow up. We'll have people coming on the show talking about things, coming together, not just come on the show, have a conversation, a continued
Yeah.
conversation over time where we get this one involved. Hey, this guy was on the show, and we collectively work together to benefit everybody in the Caribbean. Now, I
Yeah.
originally, like I say, it was for Guyana alone, but I think we have a collective effort. But I do agree with you. Guyana does need to step up with the intellectual property. And
No, but just, I'm not cutting you, bro. Sorry.
no,
But
go ahead.
just to mention, when you mentioned the Caribbean is suffering from the exact same problems we have. All right. Barbados has, because, okay, copyright is like a phased process. One, two, three, as we go. All right. Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and Jamaica are way ahead in terms of their IP law enforcement and updates. All
For
right.
now,
No, I mean Jamaica is way ahead, bro. Jamaica is
for now,
has laws
we're
regarding
catching
AI.
up. For now, I love my Jamaican. Shout out to my Jamaican people. I mean, no disrespect.
I mean, Jamaica got laws on AI, bro. I mean, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We need to be there
Uh-huh.
because if we do not have, I'll give you an example. We don't have laws governing AI, and somebody does a deep fake, for example, at an election time
Oh wow.
when tensions are high, and somebody does a deep fake video,
Mhm.
you can understand what's happening, and it is America. This is Guyana
Oh,
we
hell will
talking
break
about.
loose. I am so the
Okay.
last election, I had that on my mind. I'm so happy that nothing, major broke out. Everyone was, it
That's
wasn't.
one of the things I was looking at. I was
Mhm.
looking for the deep fakes and I was looking for the AI voiceovers,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, 2030 is gonna be mayhem, chaos. If we are not putting provisions in place
Uh-huh.
to stop stuff like that, and basically that is on the fringes of misinformation and disinformation. All right. If you don't have a rigid protectionist law that stops and weeds out that kind of stuff from social media, from media on a whole, we can have some serious issues.
True. I agree
And
with you
I mean,
100%.
Malachi, we definitely know based on everything that you've shared so far. I mean, it's definitely an engaging topic, especially with the times that we're in today, especially going to school, where it used to be plagiarism used to be a big deal, but now it is. There's AI. You can write your whole paper, your whole essay, your whole research,
terrorism is no
your
longer a big deal,
your,
bro.
your SB, right? So like
Yeah.
copyright has become now the right to copy, and you see that happening many ways, especially in the environment in Guyana right now. There's so many rise of creativity, and
Mhm.
also due to discovery in the country, you see a lot more videos, a lot more marketable things that are coming out, and people are
Mhm.
more curious to discover it because now the awareness has been raised. So
Yeah.
I know you do a great job in managing your artists and promoting them on a big scale. And
Yeah.
before we go to that, I just want you to touch about your experience in the radio business, like your personality. I know you're well traveled, you're also well versed in different platforms. So tell us where you are right now, what platforms you're on, and what's been your journey like as a radio personality.
Mm. The radio personality journey is crazy. It is a crazy up and down journey. A matter of fact, the reason I am not on radio per se in Guyana
Mhm.
formally, it's because of the very issue that I was talking about earlier, the
Right.
IP issue.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because again, a lot of the sponsors or the big money spenders did not like the dissemination of information regarding that issue because that's a very ticklish issue
Right.
that, if not understood, which a lot of people in Guyana did not understand, but a lot of corporate people do understand,
Hmm.
they want to kind of stay in that gray area and be able to access and do stuff without having to pay. And I'll give you an example. Um, I'm not going to call their names. There's a company that receives, let's say, billions of dollars for printing textbooks for schools,
Hmm.
but they're not the authors of the material. They're just copying and getting paid to copy.
And they put
But the
their
work,
cover on top of it.
they copy everything. Like it just make it look like the
Wow.
original.
Really?
But
And brand new,
Interesting.
yeah,
yes, but they are not licensed to do that
to copy the
Mm.
books.
by the original intellectual property rights owners.
Wow.
Interesting.
I just leave
That is
that there.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's incredible. I mean, the technology, you have so many loopholes that comes
Yep.
into it, and it's
So,
definitely to the detriment of those. The creators are the ones who lose out a lot, and you see that being the struggle
Yeah.
all the time.
Hmm.
And coming up when you creating a lot of content, especially creating something, and next thing you know, you don't really get the profit off of
Yeah.
it, or at least monetize it. If you look
Hmm.
into it, like for example, you're in the arts or creativity, and you unable to make a profit, and that's really your source of income. Like, how do you able to carry on your career in that aspect?
so I have the flip side for that. Now, the original people might cost, say, $1,000 for the textbook. These people that are doing the duplication sell it for $300. I don't know if that's the case. But if that's the case, it might actually be more affordable to people. And there's a win. There's always a pros and a cons to everything in life. That just might be something where it's
I'll
not
tell
that
you
deep.
what. I'll tell you what. I used to live in an island that had 11,000 people on that island. All right. And there was a high school. I used to go to that high school. And there was a thing that they did, which was when you got into first form, the second formers would give you all the textbooks from first
Yeah,
form.
yeah,
All right. And that was an arrangement between the book companies and the schools because they had no right to reproduce the material without permission.
Right.
And in order for all the children to benefit from having the textbooks, they passed the textbooks down. If you did not carry your textbooks and they were damaged, then your parents would have to purchase those textbooks and hand them over to the school, and the school would then hand them over to the student who needed them because you damaged that textbook. So there are arrangements that the Ministry of Education can get into where they can actually access the original books from the companies, which might be Oxford, Longman, that kind of thing. And they can actually source the books, but you set up a step tier regime in order to have those books passed down until you get to fifth form. And if you're doing Cape at sixth, that's okay as well.
of
So
course.
it's about strategizing as not to cost so much. And that is even more cost effective than having a printery duplicate the very books, even at a lesser cost.
It's good for the environment as well.
Exactly.
I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of people joining. We have Adrian from Deluxe Car Rental and Trucks. He's one of the sponsors of the show. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Mhm.
Mr. Zahir Khan. I know, sir. He says Wazim's been missing for a long time. Definitely. He will be coming back on soon, hopefully. All fingers are crossed. What else do you have? Guys, if you have any questions for Mr. I keep messing up your name. I have
Malachi, Malachi.
Malachi.
Malachi. I have
Malachi,
a
you talked
friend
to,
that's similar to that, and it's pronounced as different, so I don't want to mess it up.
I'll
But
tell you what, Malachi is pronounced two ways, right? CHI is pronounced Kai in Chinese or in Japanese or Ki or Chi. All right.
all
So
right, so
in Jewish, they would say Malachi.
okay,
In
okay.
English, they would say Malachi. So there are two,
Which one you prefer?
anyone, it really doesn't matter.
No, I'll call you
Malachi.
just Spem, and we good to go.
It really doesn't matter. I mean, I
But
got my
you,
Jewish
Malachi,
friends, they call
I
me
know
Malachi.
you're high. I know you're big in the entertainment scene right now, and I know you have a platform, 592 Radio as well too, that promotes a lot of the
Mhm.
artists, and you do a lot of work in managing them. So tell us about
Yeah.
what type of artists, what genres they perform, and how can
Mhm.
someone get in touch with you regarding the artists that you manage, and how do you support them in getting the bookings?
Um, all right. What happens? First, I got to say a big shout out to my business partner. His name is Martin Al Amin. We have two companies. One is called Gem Entertainment Media, and the other one is High Rollers. High Rollers really provides the security for the artists that we manage, which is like seven of them. We manage Archangel, Militant, Future Kid, Promise No Promise, Winston Irie, just to name a few. All right. Now, the process of management, a lot of people think it's just like one, a manager is not an investor. So let me just clear that up. Uh, Immediately, if you believe that I'm the person who's going to invest maybe 20,000, 50,000 US in your career, no, forget that.
Yeah,
I am the person that manages your career. In other words, I will link, as the manager, I will hire your lawyer to handle your contracts. I will hire your booking agents to ensure that your you get booked for shows. I will ensure that you have a PR who is responsible for making sure that your promotions of your music, your interviews, and that kind of things are on a constant roll. So, as the manager, my job is to strategically get the artist to the point and link them with the individuals that can service their career to take them to the next level.
Amazing. And are
Well
you
said.
still continuing that step of the pathway as you put them to
Yeah,
that level? Are you still
the
involved?
artists who are signed to me, I continue working with them on a constant basis, ensuring that distribution worldwide is done, ensuring that in terms of collecting their publishing, whether performance rights publishing or publishing rights for music here on music, on the radio, sorry, online, all of that kind of stuff. Because one of the things we in Guyana don't understand, I mean, I'm the first person I think really explained it thoroughly to Guyanese artists. Um, I've got a good friend that I really want to manage for years, Terry Gadrach. All right.
Oh wow,
And
he's a friend of the show. He's been on here already.
yeah. Terry's my guy. I really want to deal with Terry because I don't believe that Terry has been paid. For example, his publishing, I don't believe Terry is receiving his performance rights
Mm.
payments. A lot of artists don't understand how those regimes work and how it benefits. Because when you think, okay, I'm going to get paid just to appear on stage and do my thing,
Uh,
no, there's a lot of other money that's on the table that you cannot access unless you know and you have somebody who's capable of getting that. For example, your performance rights, you have to understand what is the behind the scenes workings for you to have that. One of the major things that our people don't understand is the paperwork, the contracts, the
mhm.
writers, all those things have to be signed off on. And you have to have your ducks in a row as well. You have to have your music registered. You have to have your publisher who is doing your tracking. You have to have your distributor who is distributing your music globally. So all of these factors help you and build your career. Now, a lot of the artists say, "Oh, we're not going anywhere. We're not saying." This is because they don't understand it. There's a structure to this thing. It's not just singing music and yeah, somebody here. Oh yeah, you're a good artist. Never works.
That's super interesting. I just want to let you know that you can bring any of your artists on this show to help publicize them if they have a new song, they want to get some word out there. They have an
Mhm.
album coming out, whatever publicity. You can use the show. That's part of what we're here for, to
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
enlightenment to the new up and coming artist. You know, if he's coming on the stage for the first time, you know, we want to break that ice, come out here, get some fans, let people get to know him. Please use the platform. Talk to us, we'll be more than happy to accommodate that for you.
No,
What I'd like to
but
do.
one of the things I wanted to ask as well. Do you guys focus on the chutney artists?
No, we're general. We have next week we're gonna have a reggae artist on.
Okay.
But so far, I mean, the influence is there that you know there's a wide thing, but it's Caribbean. There is no one genre. It's everybody is involved.
I'll tell you. No, I understand that. I love that as well, right? But I'll tell you why I asked.
Mhm.
Because have you listened to any music from an artist by the name of Mystic?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, Romeo.
yes.
Yeah, Romeo.
Okay. You've listened to Romeo Mystic, you've listened to Tony, Bounty, those guys, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Have you listened to Chutney from Trinidad versus Chutney from Guyana?
Listen to all of them. My
You listen to
favorite
all of them, right?
artists. Yeah, my
From
favorite
Ricky
art.
Jai to all of them, right? You listen to them.
And too much chutney is good, not good for me. So I have my pick and choose. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. One of the things that I have that because I listen to music for hours, and I tell you for hours, right? And at one point in time, chutney music coming out of Trinidad and Tobago was all about rum,
Still is.
and still is.
Still is.
All right, chutney music coming out of Guyana. got a twist.
Yes.
Like Mystic got the Guyanese number, right? Mystic got country by. You know, those chutney have a totally different direction than the chutney from Trinidad. And I don't know if we Guyanese fully understand that, hey, there is a difference with the way the music swings. We might say, oh, we doing soca. But when you listen soca from Guyana and you listen soca from Trinidad,
No,
two different things.
I
Two
mean, I,
different
I
things.
respect your opinion. I think it's one mix-up kind of thing. It's all about the girl, the drinking. I think they're trying to
Mhm,
reinvent themselves right now. But for a minute, it's been totally about that all the time. We do have some new artists coming, some new blood, and
mhm.
bring awareness to this too. Like, hey, you know what? Switch it up a little bit. But
Listen. I personally have no problem with the rum chutney. I drink rum. I don't need to. I drink rum. I from Guyana. We got El Dorado. I mean, come on. How could I possibly be Guyanese? Where the best rum in the world coming from, and I don't
Yeah,
drink rum? That's
that's
impossible.
right.
Sorry,
Not when you
that,
smell it.
but let's get real. I mean, we have so much in terms of our overall um, development and content that we can go in different directions.
right,
Guyana is such a blessed place in what we can do, and just
facts.
to elaborate a little bit in what I've been doing on radio.
Mhm.
I broadcast to the UK, to Atlanta, to New York, to Eglinton in Canada, to Toronto in Canada as well, to Antigua and Barbuda, and on radio stations in those areas. I have managed to create the only syndicated show from Guyana. And when I say syndicated, my show starts, well, it's daylight saving time now for you guys. So
Yeah.
when it's 8 in the US, it's 9 in Guyana. So I start at 9 o'clock
Okay.
in Guyana,
And I want
which
to be
is
respectful of your time too. It's now 8:02, so yeah.
I got you, bro. All right. But I do a syndicated show at the same time I'm doing it at 9 to 12 in Guyana. It's going to the UK from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. That's on slamfm.co.uk. That's 93 in the UK. In New York City, it's Majestic Music Radio.
Okay.
In Atlanta, it's My Exclusive Radio.
Oh wow.
In Canada, it's Triple R Radio, Studio M, Cut and Clear Radio. In Antigua, it's 102.3 and 96.7.
So this is universally, or there segments they break it up, or it's one broadcast to all of them?
No, it's 1 3 hour show going on all those platforms simultaneously one time.
Okay. So
Wow,
one
amazing.
3 hour slot. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, it's 8:03. We do not have a time limit. I want to be respectful of your time.
Yeah,
If you do want
absolutely.
to continue for a few more minutes, that's totally cool. But I have to get Shiv to agree to it too, because it's all of us. I'm good to go. I'll stay for another hour. I'm having
Well,
fun.
I mean, I would love to stay for another hour, but I got tons of stuff to do, and tomorrow
No,
is
no,
a,
we
a
got, we
really
got,
busy
we got
day.
this.
No.
I
Let's call
also
it a
have to
wrap.
prep. Yeah, I have to also prep for tomorrow's show. But just to kind of wrap it up, um, outside of me, because I'm just one person. I really don't like to focus too much on myself. I contribute a lot, but that contribution really is for the greater um, good, greater development of our nation, because I do believe that in the near future we want to see young inventors come from Guyana. We want to see people from Guyana come up with pigments and medicine from the interior that we can claim it as uniquely Guyanese, coming from Guyana, just like how the Noni fad started
Yeah.
in Guyana.
Mhm.
That kind of thing, because we lost out on all those things because of that lack of intellectual property. And I'm hoping that outside of this discussion that we have, the audience will go online, please, and research a lot of this information that I'm talking about, and broaden your horizons, because really and truly, it covers everything that comes from your mind.
Awesome. Well said, man.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to spend the time with us.
Thank
You,
you as
sir, are
well.
welcome to come back here anytime. I love the conversation. I think we need to get this a little bit more. Don't forget to let your artists know they can come on here anytime. What I'm going to do for you, sir, I'm going to put your contact information with your permission, name, phone number, business name, all that fun stuff on our network as a complimentary gift for coming on the show. So that way you can generate business. If some of the artists are interested in, the conversation you had, you're talking about, their entertainment rights and all that fun stuff, and they want to get to know you directly, they can come to the network. And, once again, thank you. Shiv, also thank you. Anything to say, Shiv?
Yeah, absolutely, Malachi. I mean, we've been in touch for a while now and definitely looking forward to working together. You're welcome to have this conversation online,
Yep.
offline. But I believe with your experience, your background, you've got a lot to offer, especially a lot of budding artists. A lot of folks are looking for opportunities today and they want
Mhm.
to know, they want guidance. And you talked a lot about that and you're very insightful of what the environment and the landscape is. So definitely love having you in the platform and also want to know how
Thank
in
you.
the future you can able to empower those youths and guiding them in the right direction, keeping them
Well,
on the
one
safe
of the things that's going to be
progression.
happening, one of the things that's going to be happening early in January, in the new year, I'm going to be back in New York. I'm going to be at
Okay.
VP Records um, on Jamaica Avenue. Myself and a gentleman by the name of Leroy Graham Jr., we usually host some seminars on IP law development, understanding the music business. So for those Guyanese in New York City, in January, I'll post it. I'll give you the information as well. I'll be
Yes.
in New York. I'll be at VP Records on Jamaica Avenue, uh, doing the continuation to what we call the lecture on IP law, understanding the industry.
All right. Guess what? We're involved. We'll take all the information. We will publicize it to get as much people out there, get the awareness going. Consider us a partner on there to get the word out. And anything you want to move forward. I think your ideas are great. You have the insight to bring about change. If it doesn't happen with people like you and me backing it up constantly, it's never going to happen. So we're going to start the spark that ignites the flame that burns it all down. Cool. So,
Correct.
quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors, Easy Windows. If you guys are having trouble with your windows right now, it's a cold season. If you got the cold air, it's coming in, you need a window replaced, give them a call, 646 421 9452. I also have, just give me a second here. I'm multitasking. Wazim, I know you're watching. See what's happening, brother. I got to do everything, man. You need to come back soon. Shout out to Shout out to Rajan Ramdial. He's the Senior Vice President for Fluent Mortgage. His phone number is 917-337-7104. You guys need anything with mortgages, anything with finance, in the real estate industry, give him a call. He's the man. He's licensed in New York, Florida, and a lot of other states around the place. Give him a call, free consultation. And last but not least, we have Adrian from Deluxe Car Rental out there in Orlando, Florida. You guys are heading down to Orlando, Florida anytime soon. Right now, it's cold here in New York, so a lot of people will be traveling to the warm weather. Give Adrian a call, 407-770-3304. Cool. So that's all the people that sponsor part of the show today. And we do take sponsorship. This isn't cheap. It's not free. So we got to pay some bills too.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I had a great conversation with you. It's very enlightening to know that people like yourself is out there. Consider us partners in the intellectual journey. Whatever we can do with the show, myself, um, Angel, Shiv, and Wazim, however we can contribute, call upon us. We're here for you. Awesome. Well,
Blessings.
thank you again, brother. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. Let's do this again soon.
And thank you
Final
for
words?
having me.
No worries,
Always
brother.
a
Blessings.
pleasure. Thanks,
Uh,
Malachi. Have a great night,
what can I say?
Trevor.
All
I'm
right.
just happy that you guys had me, and thank you so much.
Awesome, brother. Stick
A
around,
pleasure.
Shiv.
Thank you so much.
Stick around, Shiv.
Thanks.
Let's just wrap it up before we go. Thoughts? What do you think? How was the show?
It was fantastic this evening, Trevor. We all come on, we all have creativity, we all have ideas, and I believe understanding the intellectual property that we create and how to ensure that those are protected and continue to stay yours. But most importantly, if you put the energy out there, how do you control and the direction in which it goes in? Especially if you're looking at it as a career perspective, how do you get an income and build a career out of that, knowing that, hey, this is your property. If someone's using it, you should be able to get some kind of income from it, so you can able to be motivated in creating more property. So definitely a great topic, great conversation. Can definitely see in the different age we're going in digital transformation, something that's much needed. So it was great having that conversation with Malachi and understanding his insights that he's provided in the industry.
Awesome. Well said, man. With that being said, thank you people for joining. It's 8:10 Tuesday evening. We're doing it again. We do have an entertainment artist is this coming out from Guyana. I don't want to ruin it, but we might post it on Facebook. Let's see what happens. Once we get 100% confirmation, I want to say thank you guys for joining us. I really do appreciate the love, the likes, the shares, the people who watch the show after the fact. You know I love you. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll be doing this again next week, Tuesday. See you then. Take care.
See you all.
Let's Chat is brought to you by the Caricom Business Network.